Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing tonight? I hope you're having a fantastic Thursday night. We are live here in the Action Lab on a Thursday on YouTube. YouTube Live. We are talking some NBA tonight. So can't wait to get rolling on some NBA content. This is, I think, the third show that we've done here on the YouTube platform. So we are super excited to be kind of branching out a little bit. We will be live here as well on Sunday doing some things. So that'll be super exciting. But yeah, welcome in. We are going to be having a great evening tonight. We only have 1 hour to get to everything we want to get to. So we're going to power through it here for tonight's matchups. We got some good, solid games going on tonight. We have a lot happening. What's up, Joker Nation? Deborah, how are we doing? Good to have you guys popping in. Looks like we have some people trickling in, which is awesome. So can't wait to shoot some hoops with you guys. Yeah, no, we have a game going on currently right now. I was watching some of this Dallas and Boston game, which honestly, man, Boston is just putting it to Dallas. Let's go, Benji. What's up, buddy? How we doing? Let's go. Looks like we all have people trickling in little by little, so keep them rolling in. How's your evening going? How's your night going? You guys watching this Boston Dallas game? It's 99-78. Dallas just looks terrible, which, by the way, can I just say, I'll get to this in my rankings, but Dallas gets a lot of love. They're on a nice little win streak, but I don't know. Dallas, they don't strike me as a team that I feel really great about right now. What's up, Milwaukee's? How we doing? Everyone's rolling in. Love it. Let's go. Keep it coming. Yeah, I don't know. Boston seems to be like the team that we thought they would be. I mean, we knew they would be good, but they're still better than I thought they would be coming out this year. Then, I don't know. Dallas on a nice little winning streak, but they're just not it. I just don't see it. I don't see it. So tonight we have a big show. Thank you guys for popping in. Hopefully we can continue to grow little by little on the YouTube platform. Guys, hit that subscribe button if you have not already, so that we can get all of you guys the notifications you need every single time we go live. So that's always a big piece of it. Milwaukee's best. Loving those Bucks. Bucks are looking good too. You'll see where I have them in the power rankings, and the Bucks, I have a feeling that they're going to be climbing the rankings a little bit more and more as this season goes on, because they're only going to get healthier. Chris Middleton is going to get healthier. So Wolves, I know, yeah, Wolves. They got some bright spots, though. They got some bright spots, Joker, for sure. But you know what else? Also, I know you guys, a lot of you guys are coming over from the Action Lab from Twitch, which is where we typically stream. It's weird. Like, now that we're switching over to YouTube a little bit, we're doing some things. All of my notifications and all the alerts aren't working on this. I got to transfer them over somehow. So I'm going to be working on that as well. So hopefully we can have that going for bingo and everything else. It's a lot of work, but I'm trying to put it all together before Sunday when we stream Sunday Night Football here live in the Action Lab on YouTube for the first time ever. So we can't wait to get that rolling and have a big group of you guys coming over from the Twitch side over to YouTube. So look forward to that. All right. So without further ado, I think we dive into it. Milwaukee's no Middleton or Holiday. Yeah, see, I mean, Middleton's a big piece of what they do, and I really do think, that the Milwaukee Bucks will improve as the season goes on. I mean, right now, they're currently sitting what? They're second, which is kind of crazy to think. Kind of crazy to think that they're second place and they can only get better behind Boston. Look out for those Nets, though. Lost my mod abilities. So everything isn't transferring over Milwaukee's. So just a heads up. Don't be too upset. the abilities here. This is only our second or third stream that we've done here, and I'm still working out the kinks of how to get mod status and alerts and bots and everything set up here. So bear with me. Don't be too upset. We're still working through it. Mandalorian, what's up? How we doing, Amanda? What's going on? Good to have you in. Hope you guys are all ready to talk some NBA. So before we dive in to our top 10 list of all the teams that I think are kind of leading the league right now. Nice alley-oop there for Boston. We're going to dive into a couple storylines that are happening around the NBA. So let me go ahead. I'll pull that up. And first off, we have some all-star voting coming in. Our first initial all-star voting has come through, and we have, some pretty standard names across the board here when it comes to all-star voting. I no longer go on the Purple Snake site anymore. Oh, no more, huh? No? Is it leaving it alone? Why is that, Amanda? Why is that? You know what's weird is saying, I'm typically used to saying, all the screen names and stuff, but it's weird seeing people's names out here on the YouTube side. Kind of crazy, kind of fun. But yeah, let me know why you're kind of boycotting the whole Twitch side of things. Let's see, what else? Joker, Giannis, MVP favorite so far. It's crazy to think that Joker's still in the conversation, knowing he already won 2 straight. Anthony Edwards should be an all-star. Yeah, so let me go through this real quick. We have a few here. I'll start out with the Eastern Conference. Eastern Conference all-star voting. Initially, this is the first release of the voting as of right now. And front court for Eastern Conference, top vote getter, no surprise here, is Kevin Durant. Not only is Kevin Durant just always going to be there regardless of how much he plays, but he's been playing and balling out all season long. So Kevin Durant leading with 3.1 million votes. So front court is Kevin Durant, Giannis, of course. Giannis coming in almost to 3 million. So he's right behind Kevin Durant on the voting right now. Also, we have Joel Embiid coming in behind Giannis, 2.2 million. Tatum, 2.1. Tatum's balling out this year. He's in the MVP conversation, and he's playing out of his mind. So, rightfully so. It's kind of crazy that he's 4th on this list. But, hey, Jimmy Butler, Pascal Siakam, Kyle Kuzma, Banchero for Orlando, also coming in above Nick Claxton and Jarrett Allen. So KD, Giannis, Embiid, and Tatum are the big ones in the front court in the Eastern Conference. Then you have guards in the Eastern Conference. Voting is as follows. We have Kyrie Irving, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Jaylen Brown, Trae Young, and then you get down to the DeRozans, the LaMelo Balls, all those. So, with that being said, I mean, obviously, you have Kyrie, who is definitely helping that team. I get it. He has all the controversy and everything else happening, but hey, he's one of the best guards in the NBA, and he just rightfully so getting a lot of votes. Donovan Mitchell, Cleveland, putting up 71 the other day. Obviously, that's a big deal, right? I mean, big deal for Donovan Mitchell to come in and make a name for himself coming into a new franchise after being in Utah so long. Second in all-star voting, 1.6 million votes. And then, Philadelphia, James Harden, and Jaylen Brown. Going to the Western Conference. Let me touch on this real quick. Benj, if AG gets in, said might join the dunk contest, I think that would be cool. Not sure if I want to risk him getting hurt at all. I mean, the dunk contest, I'm not too worried about the dunk contest of getting hurt. I mean, I know there's that possibility, but I think the dunk contest is, I feel like it needs something. AG can elevate that. I mean, he's already done the whole thing with, he's been in the contest before, so I would love it. I would love to see it. New York market versus Milwaukee market. America likes Giannis. Giannis is arguably the best player in the world right now. So, I mean, he's absolutely. I would love, what's crazy? Like, he's trying to improve his shooting. I would love for Giannis to get a better jump shot, more consistent jump shot. Can you imagine Giannis with hitting threes too? I mean, he can. He's just not very consistent with it. That would be nasty. That would be insane. Dunk contest is boring. Dunk contest has lost a lot of its luster. Like, first of all, you're getting a bunch of kids in there that no one really has, smaller markets, and you don't really get a lot of exposure outside of like TNT or ESPN games. So realistically, outside of highlights on ESPN, you don't see a lot of those. That's not something that you get. And so it takes away a lot. I guarantee you, if you put LeBron and KD and, I don't know, some of these other big names in the dunk contest, that would be a must see. That would get more ratings than the actual game. I mean, I'm saying you cash in. LeBron is playing like he's young again. Yeah, man. Yeah, he's playing like he's 28, not 38. He has to. He has to, because AD's hurt all the time. AD is not, he can't do much when he's sitting on the bench half the season, every season. It's kind of crazy. So you got LeBron playing out of his mind. So speaking of LeBron, let's go ahead and go to the Western Conference. Obviously, he is by far and away, by about 1 million votes, the lead vote getter in the Western Conference for the front court, followed by my boy, Nikola Jokic. Jokic is obviously having an insane year. And, it's crazy to think he's won back-to-back MVPs, and he's having statistically a better year this year than he did last year, which is wild. Speaking of, I'm like looking at some of these graphics and stuff. I'm on Twitter as well, kind of thing. They have what's happening. Clippers and Nuggets coming up here on TNT here in about 13 minutes. And they have Paul Millsap still in a picture here on Twitter highlighting this game. He is the marquee go-getter when it comes to Twitter. Go figure. I mean, bruh. Come on, man. I don't even think, is he even playing in the league anymore? I don't know. Love me some Millsap, but I don't know. So LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, Anthony Davis, as much as he's been hurt, is third in vote getting in the Western Conference. Zion, also hurt as of this past. He's kind of like back and forth, injured, not injured, injured. But Zion is on the list here at number 4, 1.9 million votes. Andrew Wiggins, Paul George, Lauri Markkanen, Draymond, Kawhi, and Kevin Looney round out the front court. Then you get Steph Curry leading all guards in the Western Conference. He's been out of commission for a little bit, but Luka should pass him in this voting. I mean, he's the front runner for MVP from a betting standpoint. So from that standpoint, it's only inevitable. Luka is taking over. It's wild to watch what Luka's doing. He's not really doing too much tonight. Obviously, he's a one-man show in Dallas. Dallas's roster is rough. I'm not gonna lie. Spencer Dinwiddie's a mid-range. We'll get to that in a little bit. Anyways, I digress. Then we got Ja Morant, number 3 among guards in voting. Then you got SGA with OKC, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Klay Thompson, Russell Westbrook. As much heat as he's been getting, he's been right up here, number 6 in the Western Conference guards. Then Damian Lillard, Devin Booker, Austin Reeves with the Lakers coming in, getting some votes. Only 144,000. No big deal. And Jordan Poole coming in as well. Let's see. So what do we got in the chat? LeBron is playing like a limb. Yeah. 3-point contest is the highlight of the night. Joker. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's the one. I mean, I get into the game itself has actually gotten better. The All-Star game has gotten better. The format that they've put together for that has been interesting, where it's like every quarter they reset. I think that's a lot of fun. It's definitely a fresh take, and I've really enjoyed that. And then the other festivities, 3-point contest. I think of all the dunk contests, the skills, the 3-point, the 3-point's kind of where you kind of tune in. But like the dunk contest has just been so bad for so long, and it's just partly because you can't pull the stars to do it anymore. You just can't pull the big names, so you're just getting a bunch of kids. And honestly, the creativity of the dunks hasn't been great either. Let's just be honest. The creativity of those dunks has been. I feel like it lacks. You can only do so much, right? You can only do so much. So I get it. They need to figure out a way to spice it up. Maybe it's not like the actual dunks itself. Maybe it's, I don't know. They got to put some, I got to think about that. Well, we have plenty of time to maybe brainstorm some ways to get things rolling with some new ideas for the dunk contest. I will say, you want to know who does across the board an incredible job at All-Star games is the NHL. They always bring it. That one in Las Vegas last year was insane. Just saying. Nike would never let LeBron be in dunk contest for the reason if he lost. Well, I mean, on the flip side, though, if he is in the dunk contest, you know how many people are going to tune in to see the Nike shoes flying through the air on the dunk contest? Like, I mean, I get it. I think that like if he loses, whatever, but the sheer exposure for Nike for that dunk contest, it'll instantly be the highest rated dunk contest in recent memory for the last few years, easily if he were on there. So I can see Nike getting a lot of exposure out of it on the flip side there. Steph Curry needs to get back healthy too. True. Yeah, we've had a lot of injured superstars in the league. Obviously, there's a lot of injured superstars on this ballot that are getting votes across the board here. But yeah, I think that he needs to get healthy. They will. Obviously, Steve Kerr's a smart coach. I think he'll make sure that they're resting him accordingly because they're going to need Steph Curry. Without Steph Curry, that team is it's just not it. They still do the drafting, correct? They do still do the drafting. So last year, you had that awkward moment with LeBron and KD, and KD was stuck with having to choose between his boy James Harden, which he didn't want because that was after James Harden left, and it was hilarious because it was just like they purposefully left him and Rudy Gobert. And you knew everybody there was like, oh, there's no way he's going to take James Harden after what he just did, leaving the team, leaving Brooklyn, going to the Philadelphia 76ers. KD's pissed. And it came down and he ended up taking. He took him. He took Rudy Gobert. And honestly, it's interesting. Rudy Gobert's not even on this list for the front court, which is you got Kayvon Looney in there. You got Draymond, Lauri Markkanen. For being a guy that demanded so many assets, he's not on this top 10 list of Western Conference vote getters. I will say, though, he's not exactly high flying. I would say the same thing about Nikola Jokic. As much as I love Nikola Jokic, his passing is what dazzles in the All-Star game. Nothing else really dazzles for Nikola Jokic, right? I mean, that's pretty much kind of the gist of it. But it's still fun to see him in there. He can make things happen with his passing. Let's see. All the West All-Stars for the are old. Yeah, they are. So AD's hurt and old. LeBron is old but playing young. Jokic and Zion, Andrew Wiggins, some of those guys are a little younger. But yeah, you're right. There's not a lot of young kids. I mean, more so on the guards side. You have like Austin Reeves, Jordan Poole, Lillard and Booker are vets. John Morant's up there, Luka's up there, but there's not as many. Do you think Victor Wembanyama will be an All-Star next year's rookie? You know what? If you ask me that right now, which I haven't thought about it, I would say yes. I would say yes only because it's a voting thing, right? I mean, people are gonna vote. Look at who's in the front court and who's on these lists already right now. And injuries happen, so like there's always that opportunity for the young kid. I think he's got raw talent, but again, we haven't seen a guy like this come out into the NBA since LeBron, maybe, right? I mean, we've had some that have had hype, but not like this. This hype, this isn't the same hype that we've seen with some of the other recent draft picks in the NBA. I mean, maybe Zion, but Zion, obviously, he went to college for a year and he had some hype. But, I mean, this kid's getting it way, way young. And his shooting, his size, his handles, everything. It's impressive. So, do I think he can make an impact immediately with a team? Sure. I think there's a learning curve always. But, yeah, the way the NBA is trending nowadays, I wouldn't count him out for making an all-star game next year, which is kind of crazy to say, but we don't have this talent come across our NBA landscape this young either very often. So, yeah, kind of crazy. Luka, yeah, Milwaukee's. This game, I'm trying to keep tabs on it. I have it. It's on commercial right now, but yeah, this game. We'll get to some more analysis on some of these other things with tonight's games and everything else. Clippers Nuggets tonight, obviously, as well on TNT. So if you're going, check that out. I will be checking that out once the stream is over. But my Nuggets, I think I feel really good about them tonight. If I had a best bet of the night, it would be Nuggets -5. Just saying, just throwing that out there. They just play and match up well against the Clippers, and Clippers will be without Paul George tonight, from all indications. So there you go. All right, so that's where we're at with the Eastern Conference and Western Conference vote getters. As of right now, this will probably just as more votes roll in. So it'll be interesting to see how these pan out. I don't see any changes coming to like the KDs and the LeBrons. I don't see Jokic getting past at number 2. I would be shocked. Don't tell me Anthony Davis is the number 2 vote getter in the West above Nikola Jokic, an MVP candidate. Don't tell me that. I'm just saying it shouldn't be the case. But there you go. We will keep you updated on all of the new totals when it comes to votes for that. Next up, I mean, I don't know if you guys have been keeping an eye on what's been going on around the NBA, but scoring's been a little crazy this year. And it hasn't just been the top guys around the league. Vote LaMelo Ball. Hey, guys, campaign for your guys. Campaign for your guys in the NBA. Haven't seen this much hype since MPJ took his wheel. Come on, man. Yeah, it's MPJ. Maybe next year is his year. Maybe next year is his year, I think. He needs to have a full season. He needs to have a full season and do it. Maybe if they win the NBA Finals this year, which I think they will, I mean, I'm just trying to be optimistic. Maybe if he's a big, piece of that puzzle and he leads something. I don't know. He's not going to lead our team in scoring all the way through, but I'm sure he's going to have a chance to maybe get on an all-star ballot or two. I'm sure he could get past Lauri Markkanen. I'm sure he could get past Draymond. I'm sure he can get past Kevon Looney. He has to. He'll. I think he'll have his chance. But scoring, this is insane. This has been the most insane year for scoring across the board, not just for teams but individuals as well. Through Wednesday, the league has averaged 112.7 points per team per game, up from 110.6 last season. And that's the highest mark in the last 53 seasons since 1969-1970, which is insane. We haven't seen scoring like this in a long, long time. But, obviously there's a lot of things that go into this. And there's a lot of individual scoring that's happening through here. I mean, there's so much more efficiency with you have 7 players averaging 30 or more points per game right now, which is wild to say. I mean, 30 points, 7 players are averaging 30. There were 8 before Giannis scored 16 points on Wednesday, by the way. So just throwing that out there as well. The fact that the point last season, nobody was averaging 30 plus, but one player, Joel Embiid, was the only one at this point. But those 7 guys are efficient. Those 7 guys that are scoring 30 and averaging 30. Prior to this season, there were 5 instances in the NBA history where a player averaging 30 points had a true shooting percentage of 63% or better. That's what we're looking at here. It's crazy. It's crazy. Look at these stats here. You got, I mean, Giannis is averaging almost like, high 30s here. Or 40s right. I mean, he's got some crazy scoring here. Julius Randle is getting in on the mix. Look at those last 7 games. Bam Adebayo, he's not known for his prolific scoring, averaging 27.6 over his last 5. Anthony Edwards, your boy, Joker, Anthony Edwards. Campaign for him. Look at what he's doing. He's putting up practically 30 a night. 30. He's putting up rebounds. He's doing everything. And you're seeing a lot more of this. I think it's wild to say, but this is the best. I mean, there's so much parity in the NBA right now. I mean, with across the board, to have so many players putting together amazing seasons on their individual teams. I mean, a few years back, it was only what? You only had when you had the Cavs and the Cavaliers with LeBron and you had the Golden State Warriors, you knew that was inevitable every single season. And you knew that there was only going to be, a couple, 2 or 3 dudes at the top, representing for those teams. And you didn't really see much from a lot of other teams. But that's what you get when you have all of the score. Scoring is protected by the way the rules have kind of came through. Fewer take fouls, stopping fast breaks. Protecting the shooters and making sure that it's helping these players put up historic numbers that we're not used to seeing in the NBA since, back in the day when you had, all the legends playing and putting up all the crazy stats, the Wilt Chamberlains and everybody else. It's just crazy. But I hope you guys are enjoying the NBA right now because honestly, I'm a huge NBA fan and this has been one of the craziest. I mean, we had Donovan Mitchell put up 71 the other day. First one to do that many points since Kobe when he was, still alive. Rip Kobe put up 81. So it's just like, and then the same night, go figure, you had old boy in Chicago put up like 45. I think it was DeMar DeRozan put up like 44, 45 on the same night that it was 71 from Donovan Mitchell. Crazy. What's up, Chairman? How are we doing? Hope you're having a good night. It's good to have you in here talking some hoops. Guys, we're popping off. It's good to have you all in here. So excited to have you guys joining here on YouTube. The more NBA fills up with AAU ballers, the less defense and more scoring we will see. Yeah, I think defense, you also got to think of the NBA has evolved over the years too, right? I mean, it's a 3-point shooting league. Thanks, Steph Curry, for that. I mean, he's changed the game with how teams approach the 3-point shot over the course of his career in the NBA. Get it. But also, you're seeing a lot of, look at the true centers in the NBA. They're not posting up. They're not slowing the game down. They're not doing the half-court offense as much. You still have, you're not dumping a ball down to Shaq or Tim Duncan or, any of those bigs that you were used to seeing back in the day where there was a lot of defense and there was a lot of, it's a whole different game where you got guys, all the bigs are shooting threes now. It's crazy. So, Jokic and, you have just all sorts of Embiid has developed a 3-point shot. He's still in the paint, but he's stretching the floor a little bit. It's just a different game. And, honestly, I if you're asking me how I feel about it, I love it. I love the fact that there are so many competitive teams, so many all-stars. Each team has its own. We're not excited about the Timberwolves. Sorry, Joker. I'm not. But I tell you what, I love watching Anthony Edwards play. Anthony Edwards is worth the price of admission, and he is the core of that team, and I can't wait to continue to watch him play and develop because he's going to be incredible. I couldn't say that about some of the other, some of these other teams. You got every single team. Even the Knicks have Julius Randle. You have the Hawks with Trae Young. There's a superstar in almost every single city, realistically, which is something that you can't really say was always the case. There was always those teams that just had trash players across the board, young players from the draft. But it's kind of crazy. Let's see. Vote LaMelo Ball. Yep. This page shows Giannis MVP without Middleton and Holiday. It's true. He's doing it. He's putting up all those points. He's crazy. Giannis is a beast. Campaign for Edwards, 40 points, 18 boards. Are you kidding me? Yeah. No, it's wild. That's the fans pay for running up the scoreboard. Those NBA games are expensive. Yeah, exactly. This is great for the NBA. I agree, Joker. Giannis scored 55, did not shoot a 3-point shot. Yeah. Didn't Mitchell get tested for something after this? Yeah, Joker. That was a funny aspect of that game. So after and you know what's crazy is and rightfully so, all of this went down. The 71-point game, DeMar DeRozan's 40 4-point game, all those all got lost in the mix with the whole thing with the Buffalo Bills and the injury to DeMar Hamlin. So, a lot of those storylines got pushed to the side, rightfully so. But what also got pushed to the side was the fact that after that game that he scored 71, he got a knock on the door. Hello? Donovan? Question for you. We're going to need you to pee in a cup because no one's put up 71 recently. I'm just saying. We got to make sure the integrity of the game when someone's putting up 71 points on somebody that, we're keeping things clean, right? Like, come on, man. What are we doing? It's kind of crazy, though. It's not like it's baseball or anything. But I will say that the scoring is through the roof. There's so many analytics and so many things that we're going to keep seeing it. The efficiency in scoring, everything. They set him up. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's right. You're right, Amanda. So it's crazy. So right now, true shooting percentage of 30 points per game scores. So everyone averaging 30 points per game. So you Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Donovan Mitchell, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, and Luka Doncic all have a true shooting percentage of 60% or higher. Ooh, that's spicy.
It's spicy.
It's spicy. So I'm excited to see where this goes. It wouldn't shock me at this point if we started seeing if we started seeing players putting up 40 and 50 on an average night. It's that insane. And it's all good for the NBA. It's all good for, eyeballs. The stats is crazy, but this is a cool stream. Finally an NBA show. I got you. We're going to keep it rolling here. And we're trying to grow this more and more. We're trying to pull all the elements from our Twitch show and trying to build them over here and do that as well. Also, we're going to be live on Twitch or live on YouTube this Sunday for Sunday Night Football. We're shifting gears to YouTube for the first time for Sunday Night Football, doing Sunday Night Football bingo, all that good stuff here on YouTube. But this Thursday 1 hour stream for the NBA is going to be our focus every Thursday night. So glad that you guys are enjoying it. Appreciate that love. So there you go, guys. Keep watching the NBA. I know it's my love. It's my, as much as I love the NFL, and I love the NFL, my Broncos are terrible, as you guys know. But NBA has always been my first love. It's always been, I grew up going, background for me, a little personal thing here. I grew up going to games like 10 to 15 games a year for the Nuggets when I was a kid. My mom and I would get the 10-game pack, and we would go, and then I would go with my buddy to additional games, and it was a lot of fun. And so I would go down before the game, an hour before the game when the doors open, get autographs from all the players. I have autographs all in my closet over here of all these amazing players from the 90s and the 2000s, and it's been absolutely one of my favorite sports and loves everything. So I'm excited to continue this, and obviously the Nuggets are going to be really, really competitive this year. I have a bet that they are going to win it all this year. They're a very complete team, and we're going to talk about that here as we get into our power rankings. So every week we'll break down our power rankings, and we're going to go through the list here and kind of see where everything kind of stands when it comes to where I think these teams fit in the top 10 of the NBA. So we're going to dive into these. We're going to have some fun. The Nuggets game is off and running here, and Nuggets up 13-7. I love Nuggets -5 in this one. I actually made that bet before this game began. So Nuggets 15-7. Timeout. Clippers can't handle it. Kawhi. It's kind of crazy to see Kawhi playing. He's never playing. So there's that. All right, so let's dive in to the power rankings for this week. And first off, we have the Sacramento Kings. Sacramento Kings right now are our number 10 team on the ranking. So Sacramento playing some decent basketball. They're 5-5 in their last 10, so they haven't been burning the doors down by any means. But I feel like the fact that they're fifth, they've kind of struggled a little bit recently. But I like this roster. I like this roster. They have some nice depth here. I mean, between De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes, Domantas Sabonis. He had that injury, and he ended up powering through. They won 1 of 2 from the Nuggets this past week. So, I just love the depth that they offer here. I think that's the reason why I think that this is they've kind of been on the fringe, back and forth for me. Now, they have a lot to, I think De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis have also been leading this team, but still got Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, and Kevin Huerter. But you got the depth. Davion Mitchell. There was a clip this past week where he literally covered every single player in one sequence on the opposing team. He is absolutely insane. But I think that they fit here a little bit better than the Clippers. The Clippers, obviously, are who we're playing tonight. The Clippers, for me, are a talented team. I don't like their depth, but I also don't love the fact that you either are playing Kawhi Leonard or Paul George. You can't ever get them on the court at the same time. When they're on the court at the same time, it's a top 10 team. It's a top probably 8 team, potentially. I don't like their depth, though. So when you only have one of those guys and they leave the court and you're struggling against teams like Denver, like New Orleans, like Memphis, there's only so much you can do. Now, Sacramento, with their depth, can stay in some of these games, which is why I have them a little higher here than, probably most people do. But I do like them better than, the Clippers and some of these others. I'll bet anyone, no matter your team, the Bucks go further. So Milwaukee's, that's fair enough. Bucks, it would be, for me, if it was my Denver Nuggets, I have my preseason pick for the NBA Finals was Nuggets and Bucks in the finals. So that would mean the Nuggets would be beating the Bucks if I made that bet with you. But I don't know. That one's you got to get to that point first. I think that it's gonna be tough. That Eastern Conference is not easy. It's not easy. Number 9 on the list is the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas Mavericks coming in here. Now, Dallas Mavericks have been pretty solid recently, right? You have that 7-game winning streak. And Dallas. Here's my thing with Dallas. Dallas is flawed. in my opinion. And there's still a lot season to go. They have Luka. He's leading the MVP race according to the Vegas books. He is the favorite as of right now. But Dallas is a team that I kind of these top 10 teams, I'm a little worried about in the sense that Luka's a one-man show. Spencer Dinwiddie ain't it. He's pure mid. He's a mid. I guess that's what the young kids use as a term nowadays, the mid term. But it's just saying like he's just average. Outside of that, there's not a lot on this roster to get excited about. If I were to look at this roster and just straight from without Luka and it took Luka out, I would say this is probably a bottom 5 team in the league. And it's just I don't see them. Now they're playing good ball. That 7-game winning streak came against the Timberwolves, the Rockets, the Lakers, the Knicks, the Rockets, the Spurs, and the Rockets, and the Celtics. So of those, and tonight was the Celtics game, by the way. They beat all the teams they should have. Spurs are going in the lottery. The Rockets will be in the lottery. The Lakers are not very good at the moment. They play the Rockets twice. The Timberwolves, not very good. Missing Brunson. Brunson's over in New York right now, right? So I just think that this Dallas team, they've been feasting on some of the easier teams around the NBA, rightfully so, but also they've been struggling against some of the better teams. So they lost to the Cavs recently before that 7-game win streak. They lost to the Cavs, which is a top team in the East, and they lost to the Celtics tonight, top team in the East. So I'm worried about Dallas. I think that they have a ceiling, and Luka is going to be putting him on his back. Dallas reminds me of where the Nuggets were last year. Dallas reminds me of the Nuggets where everybody was saying that Jokic had no help, and he was kind of doing it on his own with some average pieces at best, and that was pretty much it. This time, now Dallas knows how Denver felt last year. Now Denver has got all the reinforcements, and they're playing good ball, and they're healthy. Jamal Murray's back, and Aaron Gordon, and MPJ playing some minutes too. So it's looking better, but Dallas is in a bad spot. We'll see. All right, coming up next, we have the number 7 spot going to the Pels. The Pelicans coming in here. Now, this one I think could be a little low. But the Pelicans, I love their roster. Right now, currently sitting 3rd in the West, 6-4 in their last 10. 24-14 is their record. They're only 1 game back of the Memphis Grizzlies and half game back of the Denver Nuggets in the number 2 spot. Now, this one is tough because I'm putting Zion Williamson's injury into the mix here. If Zion wasn't hurt, I would have them a little bit higher on these rankings, knowing he wasn't going to miss time. Zion, if in case you missed it, is going to be missing the next 3 weeks for a strained hamstring, which, again, he's always hurt. He's kind of got that same Anthony Davis syndrome going on where he just finds a way to get hurt. But Brandon Ingram, injuries have been plaguing the Pelicans. They've been playing well, but this team will be dangerous when everyone's healthy. So at this point, I think there's no timeline for some of these injuries to kind of mend themselves when it comes to Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson and everything along those lines. But I do think the Pelicans are a very, very good team. As of right now, I have them at number 7, which is a little low for now, but it will increase as everyone gets healthy. So, he's been messed up since that incident with his shoes. Yeah, I agree. when he split out of his shoes, that was a Duke, wasn't it? I think this looks too much current as opposed to will be there in the end. Okay, got it. Milwaukee's all right. Gotcha. You don't get a name like Thrill by being average. True. Your boy Thrill bench. Why is he not getting minutes out there? Did he say something? Did he do something? He is getting 0 minutes out there. Which is crazy to me. Like, obviously, he was a big part. Will Barton was a big part of what we did in Denver here. He was a big, he filled in when, we had some injuries. Murray went down, everything else. But, still, he was very streaky. Very streaky, but effective. When he had a good game, he had a great game. He is getting 0 minutes. He's not getting not even 10 minutes. It's crazy to me to think that your boy isn't getting some love out there. Seems like the team used to be at the bottom feeders are now being more competitive. And Amanda, that's a great point. That's what we were kind of saying a little bit earlier with the parity in the NBA. You're starting to get teams that are sprouting up and being big impact. I mean, you're starting to see, teams like, the Pelicans, the Grizzlies have historically been rough franchises or in the top 3. You see in the Dallas Mavericks, the Sacramento Kings in the top 5. On the Eastern Conference, Cavaliers moving their way up to number 4, and they're the best defensive team in the NBA, and they're playing up there with the Brooklyn Nets, the Bucks, the Celtics, the Sixers. There's a lot of teams that have really good talent on some smaller franchises that aren't used to seeing success, which is kind of crazy. It's exciting. Again, the parity is great. Scored 20. The coaches don't know what they are doing. Yeah, you're right. Maybe, or maybe it's a conspiracy. Maybe he pissed somebody off and he wanted more playing time and they weren't giving it to him, or he wasn't happy with his touches, or I don't know what it is, but it's weird. Coming in next, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, Philadelphia 76ers are playing some solid basketball right now, 5th in the Eastern Conference as we sit today. So they're winners of 3 straight and won 8 of their last 10. So right now they're playing really, really good basketball. They're beating some good teams. They beat the Pelicans. They beat the Pacers. They beat the Clippers, which, they're on the fringe of a top 10 team. They feasted on a bunch of easy schedule as of late, though, as well. So either way, Philadelphia 76ers coming in here in this spot, and 23-14, 3 games out of first place behind Boston, but there's a logjam. 1 through 5 in the East is pretty stacked. You have the Boston Celtics, the Bucks, the Nets, the Cavs, and the Sixers. After that, it's a drop-off. You have the Knicks, Pacers, Heat, Hawks, Bulls. All of those ones are not exactly going to be on the same level as you have in those top 5. So this is where the line is drawn, and I do think the Philadelphia 76ers are trending in the right direction. It's interesting because Tyrese Maxey is back. He was one of their young kids that was absolutely crushing, and, he's been putting in some time, earning his way back up. 27 minutes against the Pelicans the other night. But the crazy part about this one is DeAnthony Melton, who is starting in Maxey's place, was almost plus 12 net rating over the course of his time playing as a starter. Which it's like, how do you just work in Tyrese Maxey when DeAnthony Melton's playing as good as he is? So they have a really good problem there in Philadelphia where they have 2 players that can really step up regardless of, injury or anything else. Melton can play, and Maxey is a stud. So realistically, I think that there's going to be some interesting conversations coming down the pipeline when it comes to an offseason where the 76ers are talking contract extensions for, some of these nice young players like, Tyrese Maxey and so on and so forth. But 76ers have won 10 of 12 and are hitting a softer part of the schedule coming up over the next couple of weeks. So they will be in a good spot here moving forward, which is why I have them a little bit higher here on my list. And they could be climbing even higher there on after. Let's see. What else do we have? The coaches don't know what they're doing. Yeah. Tyrese Maxey is a baller. Oh, man. It's good that they can get him back. I love watching Tyrese Maxey play too. He's electric. The Heat are a weird team. They have they came blowout team one night and they destroyed the next game. I noticed that pattern with them. Yeah, I they're so streaky to me. the Heat are so streaky, and I think we saw what they've been able to put together recently, and I don't know. I feel like the Heat. Bam Adebayo's been playing out of his mind. I mean, this is one of the best years Bam Adebayo's been playing, right? Defensively, he gets credit for what they do on that end of the court, but I think it's weird. They're well coached. Eric Spoelstra is a solid coach there, so that's what's kind of keeping them in the mix as well. But I think they just need to get more consistent. I think the just string together a few wins and get on. That's kind of what they did with their playoff run a while back too. Is they kind of got in a roll and a rhythm, and they got that swagger, and all of a sudden they looked like one of the better teams in the East, and then kind of ran out of gas. But I know what you're saying there. All right, Milwaukee, you're gonna be upset with me on this one, but I have the Bucks here a little bit lower on the list at number 6. So I'm waiting for you to pop in because I know you're gonna have something to say. Even though the Bucks are number 2 in the Eastern Conference behind the Boston Celtics, Boston, they're really, really good. The Brooklyn Nets behind the Bucks are really, really good. I think the Milwaukee Bucks are just right now, even though they're winners of 2 straight against the Raptors and the Wizards, 2 fairly easy teams. My thing with the Milwaukee Bucks is injuries, right? They've been without Chris Middleton. Drew Holiday's been in and out of the lineup. I think this is a much better team with them in the lineup, and Giannis can't do it all. So with that being said, I think that, it's a struggle. They lost to the Cavs. They lost to the Nets, 2 top 5 teams in the East. And they also lost to the Bulls, and the Celtics. So they lost to 3 of the best teams around them in the conference. I want to see them get some bigger wins against those teams. But again, we're not going to have them up there until I can see them get healthier over the course of the next, month or 2. Will they be there at the end? Sure, they could finish the season number 1 or number 2 in these rankings. They could. Right now, I feel like they need to start, just trying to grind out games and get it. You're going by record, not by best team. Now, Milwaukee's. The Milwaukee Bucks, without Middleton and without Drew Holiday, I can't put them as the best team in the East. They are not the best team by far, Milwaukee's. I love you, man. I love you. But the best team right now playing the East, we'll get to these, but the best team playing the East hasn't been revealed yet as of right now. And Celtics are playing good ball. The Celtics are healthy. That's a key component of it. And also, if you haven't seen what the Nets are doing, yeah, you might want to take a look. So, Milwaukee, just be patient with your boys. They are a good team once they get everyone back. Just keep that in mind. But right now, they're losing to the top teams that they're stacked up against. And they just haven't been able to get healthy. So, lost in the finals in 7 games without Middleton after being champs. I get it. But here's the thing. At a certain point, when Giannis comes off the floor and you don't have Middleton and you don't have Holiday, you can't compete with some of the other teams in the East. Exactly, Milwaukee. And that's it. That's it. No one's playing, which is why we have them here. So, just be patient with your boys. They'll be there. They're in the mix. You keep in mind, I have the Milwaukee Bucks coming out of the East winning it all. Or not winning it all. I have the Nuggets winning it all. I have the Bucks coming out of the Eastern Conference preseason pick. So just because they're here doesn't mean that's a bad thing. We have a long season ahead of us. Next up, the Cleveland Cavaliers popping in here above the top. Getting past the top 5 here. The bottom 5 going into the top 5. Cavaliers, are in the mix. Donovan Mitchell this past week, absolutely insane, blowing up, putting together a nice 71-point game on the Bulls. No big deal. Mitchell should be a lock for the East when it comes to getting into the All-Star game. But right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers are the best defensive team, only allowing 106.4 points for the opponent at this juncture of the year. That's great. That's huge. So when you have a really, really good defensive team and you have some really good offensive players to go and put together some nice games, like you have Donovan Mitchell, filling in for, any kind of, a really, really stacked roster there. You got defensive as a presence as the core of what you guys are putting together. They're winners 7 of the last 10, 3-game winning streak here, winning by an average of 5.2 on the differential. The Cleveland, they look scary. I would not want to play against a good defensive team like Cleveland in the playoffs. They're a scary team to match up against, and with the burst of offensive firepower to go with that defense, I think it's going to be a tough out no matter what. Cavs ahead of the Bucks. How much have you drank? I'm telling you, right? Milwaukee. We talked about this. Cavs are fun, Benj. I know. Cavs are fun, but the way they're winning and the way they're a super cool team to watch, and they're doing it on both ends of the court. They're winning games. They're competing. Again, they're 4th in the Eastern Conference behind Boston, Milwaukee, and Brooklyn, and I don't see them budging anywhere. I don't see them budging from this spot. If not, I could see them even climbing a little bit. But that East is going to be a race. So right now, I put Cleveland up there. Man, they could shut some teams down. All right. Grizzlies have turned things around since last week. Grizzlies are currently, until tonight's game ends and the Nuggets win this game tonight, the number 1 team in the Western Conference. They've won 5 straight, and they are winners of 6 of the last 10. So 25-13 here, and they're looking solid. Their losses for the Suns and the Warriors, they lost to the Nuggets and Thunder previously. So they were, kind of in a weird spot. Ja Morant came out saying, "Oh man, I'm not worried about the West. I ain't worried about the West. I'm only worried about the Boston Celtics." And it's just like, all right, cool. And then you end up dropping 4 or 5 games. Then they were like, okay, all right, maybe we should, reevaluate this a little bit and start, stop talking and just maybe do what we were doing to start the season. And that's just play good ball and keep your mouth shut. So, because other teams are seeing that and getting fired up. It's locker room material, that bulletin board material. But I will say, the way they've been winning games this past, they have wins over the Raptors, the Pelicans, the Kings, the Hornets, and the Magic, all of which aren't very prolific teams at the current juncture. They're not great teams, so they're doing what they have to do. They have another easy one coming up. Well, Jazz have been competing actually early on in the season, but Jazz coming up on the schedule next. So this team is gritty. They could do it a lot of ways. Jaren Jackson, they got the win tonight over Orlando. So, they were able to put together a nice little run here when it comes to, winning some games. And honestly, the Steven Adams and Jaren Jackson lead the NBA in offensive rebound percentage. They're doing it on the boards. That's a huge, huge deal. Ja Morant is a walking highlight factory. He's absolutely crushing it. So, I love what the Grizzlies are doing. I think that they're a scary team as well. So I have them here at number 4. Grizzlies are better than the Bucks. Please put the crack pipe down. Milwaukee's. I'm telling you, the Bucks aren't the best team in the NBA right now. If I put them at 1, people would really be asking what I'm smoking. I'm just saying. Let's see. Coming up on number 3, Boston Celtics. All right, Boston Celtics here. Now, they did get a win tonight. A nice win against Dallas Mavericks, who I don't think are as strong as what people are saying, that the people are liking obviously Luka's a one-man show, but the Boston Celtics leading the East at the moment, 27-12 is their record, but they've kind of struggled a little bit over the last few. So, they have a win against the Mavericks, but they lost against the Thunder. They lost to the Nuggets here in Denver. Wins against the Clippers, Rockets, and Bucks. They beat the Bucks, Timberwolves. So recently, they've kind of been up and down. That doesn't change the fact that I still think they're one of the best teams in the NBA. This roster is very, very good. And maybe I have the Celtics a little too low here, but I do think that the Celtics are... Jason Tatum's having an MVP caliber season. I think he is absolutely, putting that team on his back. Jaylen Brown is absolutely crushing this year as well. Even he admitted after the ugly loss Tuesday night, giving up 150 to the Thunder. When you're giving 150 to the Thunder without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, it's kind of rough. So, it's weird. The Celtics have these lapses. I know, and all teams do. I get it. But I think that, some of they'll be fine. They're going to be there. I think they're one of the top contenders in the East, if not the favorite, along with Milwaukee. But they're not quite there yet. I have them here at number 3. Number 2, I got my Denver Nuggets. And my Nuggets. They're playing some good basketball. And honestly, they look like one of the best teams in the West, along with those top 3 teams. The Grizzlies, the Nuggets, and the Pelicans are all solid, right? And Pelicans dealing with some injuries, as we mentioned. We have a couple, things happening with Zion and Brandon Ingram. And, so I think Pelicans are kind of going to be up and down here and there based off of the fact that they're not healthy. But the Nuggets and the Grizzlies are going to be battling it out for this number 1 spot, I think, over the course of the rest of the season. And it's going to be tight. You got 2 teams that are healthy. You got the Nuggets, who have MVP candidate Nikola Jokic. You have Michael Porter Jr. putting in quality minutes. You have Jamal Murray putting in quality minutes. You have all sorts of good things happening with the Denver Nuggets roster. The depth is there with, Bones Highland coming off the bench, providing that extra spark. And Michael Malone is getting a lot out of his bench here. I think they're one of the deeper teams in the league. If there's one coach, I hate his rotations, but if there's one coach that gets a lot of run in his second unit, it's the Denver Nuggets. Now, they don't perform well when Jokic is off the floor. I get that. So there's that. But at the same time, right now they're up 48-23 over the Clippers, and they're playing good defense. A steal by Brown. KCP has been in there just draining another 3. No, he missed that one. But I will say they're doing it a little bit better. They're improving their defense, which I think is a big key factor for what they're going to be needing to do moving forward. They have all the offense in the world. They need to lock up the defense. That's where I'm worried the most. Right now, their differential in winning right now is a 1.9. They're winning games by an average of 1.9, which is the lowest of those top 3 teams. You got the Grizzlies winning by an average of 5. You got the New Orleans Pelicans at 4.7. Nuggets are kind of a little bit lower on that, 1.9. So they need to, lock it up on the defensive side. But I think that they are in a great spot. Their odds to win the NBA titles are climbing literally by the week. I got them at plus 2,400 before the season started, and now I think they're plus 1,300. So they're getting better and better. They're slowly meshing with what Jokic does, Pope, Caldwell Pope, and Brown, and everybody. You got that whole supporting cast, the firepower from the 3-point. They're one of the best shooting 3-point teams in the NBA, highest percentage on that. So with that, and a nice dunk there by Chanchar, which I don't know. I shouldn't be excited about that because I'm not a big fan of Chanchar. I love Chanchar, but I'm like, he gets too many minutes, and I'm like, he's playing well, I guess, tonight. So that's good. I digress. So there you go. Nuggets at number 2. And my number 1 team currently trending in the NBA as we speak is the Brooklyn Nets. You're crazy if you don't think the Brooklyn Nets winning 12 of their last 13 games, doing it, the hottest team in the NBA, and they're doing it with an insane 124.2 offensive net rating during that streak. For comparison, the Celtics last year, full season, 117. So not even 7 points less on the offensive net rating. Nets are plus 7.2 above that at the current juncture. And that's impressive. But what makes them even more like a contender here is the fact that they're playing top 10 defense over the last dozen games over that stretch. Think about that. They're one of the most prolific offenses in the NBA at right now. They are the most prolific offense right now. And they're a top 10 defense over their last 12 games. That would be insane. Like, you have Kyrie, you have KD, you have a team that to start the season was absolutely in shambles with all the drama and all the crazy things happening. But they're doing it with both sides of the court. We were talking about Cleveland earlier. Well, look at what the Brooklyn Nets are putting together over the course of this last little stretch. They are a team that you do not want to be playing against in the playoffs because of what they could. I mean, they're a completely different team this year, guys. It's wild. Benj, power rankings are based on current trends, not who was predicted to be good before the season started. This list is correct. In 2 weeks, it could be totally. Yeah, Benj, you're 100% right. Milwaukee. That's kind of how this works. I mean, the Nuggets could go on a 5-game losing streak, and they could be the number 9th team out of this. That doesn't mean I don't think they're going to win the NBA Finals. That doesn't change how I feel about them. So, there's you got to take these rankings. It's the trends. It's where things are at the current juncture, and what, injuries come into play, like your Milwaukee Bucks, losing streaks, bad losing streaks, road trips, some weird things happen over the course of the year that really fluctuate Nuggets aren't going to stay at number 2, Nets aren't going to be at number 1 all year. Bucks aren't going to be at 6. Kings aren't going to be at 10. So take these with a grain of salt. Nuggets have a good defenders. The D as a team isn't gelling for some reason. Yeah. It's a challenge. It's a challenge with the Nuggets on the defensive side, but it's ridiculous how the Nets are playing. Yeah, Joker. I agree. I mean, if you were to tell me the Nets would be one of the best teams in basketball at this juncture of the year, they would be a top 4 team, I would have been like, that's a stretch. I would have thought maybe with all the drama keep in mind, KD wanted out in the offseason, or he wanted Steve Nash fired. Steve Nash left. He wanted, all sorts of Kyrie Irving getting suspended. All the stuff with that. It's crazy to think all the things that took place, and now everything's all coming together, and we're seeing what we thought we would be seeing last year, this year. So it's kind of crazy. But that's where I have the Nets, and this is where I have my top 10 ranking here. So with that being said, we have a nice game going on TNT. Denver is up 50-23 over the Clippers. Or other current action going on. Memphis win over the Orlando Magic, 123-115. Boston with a win over the Dallas Mavericks, 124-95. Just absolutely killing them. Utah putting it to the Houston Rockets there in Houston, 131-114 there. So Nets are doing what everyone thought they would do before last season started. Exactly, Benj. See, there you go. So there you have it, guys. Katie put in his 2 weeks, then said, just kidding. And then when the season started, yeah, it was so weird how that unfolded, because he was like, hey, man, I want out. Or it's either me or you get rid of the coach. And they're like, we're not getting rid of the coach. They're like, well, all right, well, I need you to, trade me. And like, we're not going to do that either. And then they're like, all right, well, I guess I'll just stay. Like, all right, that sounds good. like, all right, cool. That's what the goal was the entire time. So, yeah, It's wild to think what the Nets are doing, and I think that they're going to be a big time threat in the Eastern Conference. Go Packers! I will try to watch that. Hey, thank you, Milwaukee's, again for all the support. Thank you for being here tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun talking NBA with you and everyone else in the chat. So super excited to keep growing this. If you guys have friends that love the NBA, that want to talk more basketball, this is the show that you want to share with them. So make sure you guys go share this stream with anybody else that you know that really digs on NBA. And we would be absolutely happy to have anybody in here that really wants to, talk some hoops. So that being said, that is all we have for tonight. I mean, again, we only have a 1 hour show on Thursdays. We might expand it as we get more traction. So keep that in mind. As we grow on YouTube, we will try to do what we can to, expand what we do. But this is an action-packed hour. We've packed it as full as I possibly could. And we're going to be back here next Thursday for another hour. We'll do more power rankings, update those. We'll go over top news going around the NBA. Maybe we'll do some bets. I don't know. I think having some fun doing some bets. Somewhere Scotty took 3 code yellows while the show's yeah. True. Yeah. He's probably out there doing he's hitting it hard for sure. So thank you guys for everything. You know what's weird is like all the alerts, all the things that I normally have going on here, they don't work the same on YouTube. I'm learning. So we're gonna try to build this out a little bit more and make it a little bit more interactive for you guys. This is just starting to be like a new adventure for us. So thank you for all the support. It means the world that you guys are here, especially all you guys coming from Twitch. If you guys are not from Twitch and you guys are hanging out, lurking around, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're here and you are from Twitch and you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe, please, and share the stream with as many people as you possibly can, because it means the world to us that we can have more people talking sports. Have a wonderful night, Chris. Take care. Thank you so much, Amanda. Appreciate it. Chairman, nice work. Thank you. Congrats on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. 2 years has been great on Twitch, and we're still doing the Twitch thing, but we want to try to do something fresh and new for you guys. So thank you so much, Bedge. Everything. Wonderful. Have a wonderful night. Go be good to each other, right? Same message goes. Be good to the people around you, and make sure that you guys are living in the moment a little bit. Go Nuggets. I subscribed before. Perfect. Love it, guys. Have a great night. Go Nuggets. Go whatever team you cheer for. And then we will see you back here Sunday night. We will be live in the Action Lab on YouTube right here. Wherever you guys are at right now, come back here. We'll be live here again. So thank you so much. Love you guys. See you then.